Hello guys, what's up? I'm Suresh Designer. Today I want to talk about how we can create some simple interior rendering with Vray 6.1 for the SketchUp. So I'm gonna use line option in here. I'm gonna set some middle point about 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna click on the position camera and set some type of eye level and character for my object. So now I come to the Vray asset editor, and at the setting option at the render output I want to turn on the save frame. As you can see, we have some save frames at the left side and right side. So I'm gonna click and change my resolution completely. For example 4:3 or maybe something about 1.1 is not bad in here. I'm gonna change my eye height about 160 centimeter, and I want to use 2-point camera. So I'm gonna reduce my eye height to the 115 centimeter or maybe 126 and use camera 2-point perspective. So now we can take some different type of renders in here. You can use zoom window and set some exactly window you want like this, and change your eye height every number you want and take it to the camera 2-point perspective. And now I can come to the paint bucket option at the scenes management and add some type of new scene in here. So I'm gonna close all of these windows in here and take some interactive render. As you can see, we have this type of model with this type of lighting. Actually Vray is one of the best motor renders for all of the architecture and urban designers, so you can use to create some type of industrial renderings of your 3D models. So let's get to work. Our main reference is this type of picture I downloaded from the internet. So now I can adjust some type of lighting settings in here. So I'm gonna minimize it. Now I come to the Vray asset editor in here. So I'm gonna close this windows. I come to the lighting, open the sunlight option. I want to use custom orientation in here and change my sun position, something like that, to make my environment much better. So I'm going to change it to the 60 and change it to the 10. Alright, now if we want to set this type of numbers exactly what we want, actually it's a hard work. So Vray have some new update can help you to improve your time and your management. So this item called light gen. So I'm gonna click on it, and after the minute, as you can see, some type of thing about downloading is not important. So I want some type of interior render with sun and sky, and I want, for example, 3 and 3. I want 9 position of lighting. So when I click on it, and now I'm gonna load it for the exterior or interior. You can change it, change these variables and set some type of numbers you want, but now I want to use the sunlight alone, so I can play with that to achieve to some type of number that I think really good for my model. I think some type of positions like that is really useful. Now I want to increase this light power, so I come to the color and intensity. I'm going to increase the intensity, for example some number about 3. As you can see, our room and our environment get much lighter. And about the size of multipliers, I'm gonna increase it to the 1.6 to have some realistic shadows in my model. Another option we have is the sky. So we have different type of skies in here, and I will talk about it at the next sessions, but now I'm going to set it on the horizontal and turn down the turbidity to the 2. And if you increase the ozone option, actually you will have some type of blue render on your screen, and if you decrease it, actually you have some type of shiny render. And when you decrease it, the weather is clear, and when you increase it, actually weather have a little bit turbidity. But turbidity is some type of different parameter in the Vray. If I increase it, as you can see, our screen go to the yellow, and our weather is completely dirty, so we don't need it. Another option we have is the albedo, so we don't have some type of horizon offset on our camera shot, so I don't need it. I just adjust it to the 5. Another option is the clouds, and it depends on your exterior renders, and the options don't touch it. So this is what we can create in the Vray, very simple and easy. But about the materials, we have some other type of tips. So I'm going to start with the materials. Actually, we only have 2 materials on our screen. One of them is this wood, and another is the metal holders in here. So I'm going to start with the metal holders. When you want to create some type of materials in the Vray, you must do always change and check your progress in reflection, coat, and refraction. So my color is good, and I don't want to change it. So I come to the reflection. Metalness is about 1. If I decrease it in the model, you will see the changes. So I'm gonna re-render my screen. As you can see, we have some color in here, but when I increase the metalness, actually we have some type of metallic fills in here. Another thing is really important is the reflection of the roughness. So when I increase it, actually my material converted to the some type of full black in here. So I'm going to decrease it because I don't need some type of roughness. I change it to the 0.1 because I need reflection of my metal and holders. So always turn on the reference null. So reflection IOR is 1.6. Every type of materials in the real world have some ordinary number, and you can check it from the internet, so I don't want to touch it. Another option we have is the coat. Coat is the cover that come on your material. So you can change your coat color, for example something about red, and you can increase the coat amount about 0.56 for example. Alright, as you can see, we have a little bit reflection on our metal model, and it's completely realistic. You can manage it from this place. If I reduce the roughness, as you can see, we have some reflective material in our model, but I don't need it. You can create some type of old iron or metal materials in here. I want to reduce the coat amount to the 0.1. Now, as you can see, we have some normal material in here. I go to edit my wood winner, so I completely click on the edit in Vray, and I want to start with the reflection. Only thing we need now is the reflection. I'm gonna increase the reflection glossiness to the 1 and change the reflection color to the white. As you can see, now we have some type of high glass model in here, and it's completely bright, but it's not real. So I'm gonna reduce this number with this color. I'm gonna set this color to the 100, 100, and 100. So I press enter, and now I'm gonna reduce the reflection glossiness to some number about 0.4. As you can see, now we have some type of realistic material in here. So I think everything is good, but we have some type of options look at this photo. We have some type of little bit shadows in this place. So if I want to tell this how we can create these type of shadows in our model, you must add some type of render elements. So I come to this place and we have some option called ambient occlusion. So this is the shadow reflection and contact in the different objects. So as you can see, I turn on the denoise and I increase the reduce to the 16 and fall off to the 1, or maybe it's a little bit too high, something like that, and distribution to the 1.66. So I don't want to use transparency, so I close it. Now I come to the setting option and stop my rendering. So now with the render, I want to render it by the CPU, but not progressive. I want some bucket render, so I turn off the progressive. I want some high quality render. I turn on the denoiser, and the camera I want to add 14.22. So render output is about some number like this, or maybe I can reduce it to this number. I don't want any type of override material. So now I'm going to maximize my screen, Ctrl S, and now click on the render option. So as you can see, we have a little bit brightness in our model, but it's not really important because you can change it in the display correction. So let the system render the this image. I think this image is not very bad. I wait to complete this rendering. I set this render setting on my CPU. If you have powerful CPUs, actually you will see that, for example, 9 cores work with each other, but my system have i5, so it use 4 type of CPUs and 4 type of different channels for their rendering. If you use RTX, actually you are lucky and you can render this type of images under 1 minute. But for my computer, I think this speed is not bad. I'm using NVIDIA graphic card GTX 960, and if you use high config of this graphic card, actually you are lucky and you are very easygoing on this type of renderings. So you can see some type of reflections on the holders, very simple and easy, occlusion amount, and some mirror edge and reflections on these things. The wood material is not bad and it's good, and I think this type of setting and preset is really good. Alright, our rendering has been finished and denoising is active now. So now our rendering has been finished. So I come to the display correction, and if I change it to the none option, actually your photo is not realistic. So always set it on the sRGB. You can change the exposure. If you increase it, actually you will not see your model very realistic. But if I want to reduce this number, actually we have some better result in here. So I'm gonna reduce it to some number about, for example, -1 or maybe -0.56. Now it's real. So I come to the denoise option. Denoise is good. So I'm gonna add the white balance in here. I can change the temperature of my picture. So I need some type of cold picture. So I'm gonna reduce it to the 5500 Kelvin, and I'm gonna add exposure option in here. If I increase the exposure, my photo will out of realistic. So I'm gonna add 0.1 in here. I want to reduce the highlights something about 0.8, and if I increase the contrast, actually our render will burn and colors will get out of control. So I'm gonna increase it a little bit, not very high, like this. Another option we have is the saturation. So I can increase the lightness and or decrease it. As you can see, something like that is good. And I want to increase a little bit of the saturation, like this, about 0.38. So this is our rendering model, and you can save it everywhere you want. For example, I want to save this Vray 6 test. So I'm gonna save it and close it. So as you can see, we have this picture in here, and I can open my render like this and this. So as you can see, we create this type of model, very simple and easy and much realistic than the photo. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, don't forget it, and goodbye.